Hi everybody, Sarah B here. Today our sequence is going to be a Vinyasa sequence where we will be going through little sequences, mini sequences with the emphasis on breathing and on the emphasis of the duration of the breath being either 1 or 3 or 5 breath lengths. Don't worry too much about you feeling that your breath might be more shallow or longer than mine. It's just a rough marker. We're also going to be repeating these poses in order to give you a sense of predictability, of knowing what's going to happen next, which is, I think, quite a nice thing in times that are unpredictable. It's going to be fun, it's going to be fluid, you're going to sweat a little bit, you're going to repeat things a little bit. We're going to come to standing poses and then we're going to come down to the floor and have a really nice long, I've worked out a sequence that's 8 poses on one side, 8 poses on another. It's just going to be nice, a nice change. I want you to begin in downward facing dog with bent knees. So place your hands at the top of the mat, index fingers pointing forwards, feet as wide apart as your little fingers. Again, knees bent, stretch and lengthen. And as you're in this down dog, begin to come into Ujjayi breath, where you're slightly constricting the back of your throat in order to measure the breath. So every inhalation and exhalation feels a little thinner and a little raspier. Try and maintain that breathing throughout the entire sequence. So finish this exhalation, put a little constriction in the back of your throat and inhale deeply. And exhale completely. And do that again. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale deeply, staying in down dog, straighten your legs. As you exhale, press your heels down. Let your head hang, squeeze your thighs. Then come forward into plank. So move your chest forward, push the floor away. I'm not necessarily going to tell you when to breathe, but do try and keep that Ujjayi breath long and thin as the forefront of your focus. Come back into downward facing dog. Straight legs, pushing your hands forward. Turn your inner elbow creases up towards the ceiling, but push down through the base of your thumbs. Now come into child's pose. Bring your knees to the floor. Big toes side by side. Look at your hands, maybe walk them a little further away from you and bring your forehead either onto the floor or onto a block. Now come back into downward facing dog. So inhale, raise your head, tuck your toes under, and as you exhale, press back. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest for Ardha Uttanasana, look forward, keep your bent knees if you need. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Coming to standing, bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up, push your heels down. Look forwards, bring your hands together, exhale, bring your hands down into your heart. We're going to do 3 sun salutations with some variations. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. Exhale, walk back into plank. Inhale here in plank. For Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale, bring your knees down, pick up your heels. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, lower your chest just a little bit. Keep pressing your tailbone down and bring your navel to your spine. Inhale. Exhale, lower your feet and your pubic bone. Inhale, curl up to cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. And exhale. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze your thighs. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step your right, then your left foot, or just walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale, walk back into plank. Inhale, stay here in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Bring your knees down, pick your feet up, cross your ankles the other way. Come part way down. Inhale, stay here, keep pressing your tailbone down. Exhale, come into cobra. Toenails to the floor, pubic bone down, inhale, curl up. Exhale, back to down dog. You can roll over your toes or tuck them under. Inhale deeply. And exhale, push down through the base of your index fingers. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, slightly bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot or your right, then your right to the top of the mat, or just walk forwards. Inhale, raise your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Inhale, come to standing, bend your knees, reach your arms forward. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Inhale, raise your arms, come up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. We're going to vary things a little bit here. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. Now, as you exhale, step just your left foot back. Inhale, raise your chest, look forwards. Stay here with your feet. Exhale, bring your knees down, your back knee down rather. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, come to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, touch back down again. Inhale, pick up your back knee. Exhale, step your back foot forward. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold and step your right foot back. Bring the knee down. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Exhale, touch back down again. And then go into downward facing dog. Step your front foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Now if you can do this with straight legs, do. Otherwise, bring your knees to the floor, come part way down. Inhale, curl up into cobra. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Stay here. Push down through the base of your thumbs as you turn your inner elbow creases up to the ceiling. Squeeze your legs, make sure that your toes are all pointing forwards as you press your heels down. Now bend your knees and look forward. Step your right foot, then your left foot to the top of the mat. Raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Now stay here folding and take a big step back with your left foot again. Bring that knee down. And as you inhale, bring your arms up. We're repeating the Anjaneyasana sequence. Exhale, bring your hands all the way down. And step your back foot forward. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Stay here for one more inhalation. Inhale. And as you exhale, step your right foot back. Bring the knee down. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. As you exhale, go back down to the floor. Now step your back foot forward again. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Now walk back into plank. Stay here in plank. And bring your knees down to the floor. We're going to do 3 push-ups here. Press your tailbone down, bring your navel to your spine. And then lower your chest just a little bit, it doesn't have to be far. And press back up again. Really flat hands. Again, exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. One more. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, go back to down dog. 3 breaths here. Keep pushing your hands down flat. Really try and press down through the base of each finger. So around your palm, you're pressing down, kind of like a round constellation. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, press down through the base of each finger, including both of your thumbs. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forward. Step your right foot, then your left foot, or just walk to the top of the mat. Raise your chest, look up. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Now bend your knees, bring your arms all the way up to standing. Bring your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra. Bring your feet together. We're going to do 3 standing balancing poses. Bend both of your knees. We're going to do them all on the right side, then all on the left side. Standing figure 4, right leg out to the side. And then bring your hands into your heart. Press your shin into that shelf that you've made with your left leg and spark your toes, keeping this right ankle strong. Raise your chest and then possibly bring your chest down a little bit more. Try and keep your gaze steady and your breathing still in Ujjayi breath. Now raise your chest, come all the way up and come into standing thigh stretch. So from here, grab with your right hand the base of your right shin. Bring your left arm out to the side to keep your balance. Push your right hip point forward and your right knee back. About 3 breaths in each pose, maybe a little longer, this might be 5. Keep squeezing your bottom. And then come into tree pose. So from here, take your hand away, grab the base of your shin, and place your foot into your inner thigh. Now I really want you to think of this sequence as playful. So if you're stumbling and bumbling, please don't worry. And you can use the wall. So if that was a complete mess, press pause, rewind a bit, get a wall, bring it back here, and start again. Now bring your hands onto your hips, take your foot away, turn the knee forwards and place it down. Let's do those 3 on the left side. Standing figure 4, bend both of your knees to start. Pick up your left leg. Ankle nice and strong, toes separated. And keep your chest high as you bring, again, your hands into your heart. This kind of central, balanced feeling, stability, rather than bringing your arms up overhead. This just feels a little nicer. Whoop, there you go. Maybe come down a little bit more. Now, standing thigh stretch, so straighten your right leg. You need to remove your left hand from your right palm, grab the base of your left shin. Try not to drop down too much with the left hip. Right arm out to the side just to help you. Push the left hip point towards the camera, towards the phone, and then press that left knee back. Raise your heart. Now tree pose. Take your hand away and grab the base of your shin again, this time the inner shin, and plant your foot. Squeeze the right leg really strong, and again, hands in Anjali Mudra. Press the crown of your head up to the ceiling as you push the base of your right big toe down. Get taller, stretch longer. Now bring your hands to your hips, take your foot away and place it down. We're going to do that again, this time a little quicker. Bend both of your knees. It might be easier doing it faster. Standing figure 4, right side. Hands in your heart. Now the thigh stretch, so straighten the left leg, grab the base of the shin. This time, before we come into tree pose, take your hand away but keep the foot high. Then come into tree pose. Use your right hand to help you. You can keep your hand here or bring your hands to your heart. Now bring your hands to your hips, take your foot away, place your feet down, bend both of your knees. Other side, standing figure 4, hands in your heart, squeeze your bottom. Standing thigh stretch. Take your hand away, keep the foot high. Tree pose. Hands in your heart or staying on your shin. Then come to mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring your hands down by your sides. Well done. Now bring your arms up overhead and come into chair pose. I want to build a little bit of heat here because those standing poses might have sort of got things a little slow moving and stagnant. So let's come into a twist. Bring your hands together, bring them down to your heart and twist to your right, bringing your left elbow onto your thigh or perhaps around the outside. Lean back. About 3 breaths here. Try and keep that Ujjayi breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Now as you exhale, bring your chest back to center and go straight to the other side. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale, top elbow points up to the ceiling, and exhale, squeeze your knees together. Inhale and exhale. Now as you inhale, come back into normal chair pose. Bring your arms up by the sides of your ears. And as you exhale, come to standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Now your feet are together, so not so easy. Bend your knees if you need to. Raise your chest and look up. And then wherever you're placed on the mat, maneuver yourself into downward facing dog. So bring your hands to the front of the mat and step back. Stretch out, lift up your sitting bones. And then bring your knees down to the floor. And come into Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet are together and your hands on the floor behind you. 5 breaths here, so this one's a little longer. Raise your chest, bring your shoulders back. And as you exhale, push the base of your big toes together. As you inhale, squeeze your bottom. And as you exhale, press your knees to the sides of the room. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath here. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Now sit cross-legged with your right leg in front. Try and blade your feet down and press your feet down as you press your feet back towards your body. Bring your hands to your knees. We're going to twist. Inhale, raise your chest. As you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale deeply. Stay here as you exhale. Twist a little strongly, more strongly. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now take your hands away, twist straight to the other side. When you get here, inhale, exhale. Move the left shoulder back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Now come back to center, bring your hands onto the floor behind you, change the cross of your legs. Bring your left hand down to the floor by your left hip and inhale, come into a side stretch. Bend that left elbow, drop the left shoulder and reach with your right arm as you turn the left ribs up a bit more towards the ceiling. Really reaching with that top hand. Press the right ribs in. Inhale, come up. And as you exhale, come to the other side. Drop your right shoulder, bend the right elbow. And again, kind of scoop the right ribs up. So your chest is facing up a little more towards the ceiling. Let the left hip feel heavy as you reach with your left hand away from that left hip. Now come all the way back up and come back to downward facing dog. I'm going to do a little series of standing poses now. Warrior 2, triangle and half moon, coming from downward facing dog. So bring your feet together and raise your right leg behind you for 3-legged dog. Try and keep the knee and the toes pointing down to the floor. Bring your knee to your nose. We're going to power this a little bit, at least the first time, and then step your foot in between your hands. So really use your abs to carry the weight of your leg. Bring your back heel down. Now look how beautifully at a right angle your right knee is now. Try and keep that as you bring your left arm up to vertical and then come into Warrior 2. So bring your chest up and look over your right hand. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze the back leg. Inhale, exhale. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. Now triangle pose, straighten the right leg, lean forward, and as you exhale, bring your hand down, thumb inside, fingers to the outside of the shin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach your top hand up. As you exhale, press the right buttock to the back foot. One more breath here, firm your abs. Now bring your top hand onto your hip. Inhale, look down at the floor. And as you exhale, half moon, step that back foot forward, bring your right fingertips to the floor. Inhale, bring your top leg up. Stay here for a couple more breaths. You can keep your top hand on your hip or perhaps bring it up. Squeeze both legs strong and push down through both heels or push away through both heels. Coming back into Warrior 2, bring your top hand onto your hip
Bend your right knee. Now pause, hover, step back as lightly as you can and bring your arms up into warrior two. Then come into down dog. Touch down, pick up your back heel and step back. Bring your feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg. As you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Bring your back heel down. Inhale, come up again into warrior two. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, arrange your feet. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale, maybe bend that front knee a little bit more. Inhale, squeeze your back leg straight. And as you exhale, perhaps come a little lower. Inhale, coming out, straighten your left leg. Exhale, lean forward, bring your hand down, preparing for Trikonasana. Inhale, reach your top hand up, come into Trikonasana. And as you exhale, press your feet towards each other. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press your feet together. One more breath, inhale. Stay here as you exhale. Inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, bring your hand down, step your back foot forward, half moon. Left fingertips about a torso length away. Keep coming up. Don't worry too much about your breath here. Sometimes it's just too tricky to manage the pose physically rather than also adding the breath. Don't worry about legs being too perfectly aligned. This is more about just having fun. Enjoy your strength. Observe how well you're doing here. Now coming back into warrior two. Even if you think you're not doing well, you are. Come back as lightly as you can. Bring your arms up for Virabhadrasana 2, warrior two. And then come to down dog. Pick up the back heel, windmill down, step back. Now if you're tiring, stay here in down dog or come into child's pose. If you've got a little bit of spark in you and you want to spend that spark, come through the vinyasa with me. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Knees down is really okay. Inhale, curl up to cobra. Don't do up dog today. Let's keep it a little sedate. And then go back to downward facing dog. Now, bring your knees down to the floor and bring your knees together and your feet together. I'm going to change things a little bit here. Bring your hands and your wrists underneath your shoulders. Pick up your right leg and straighten your right leg behind you as you bring your navel into your spine. Try not to hammock your lower back. Keep it strong. And you can even look under your belly here to make sure that your knee and your toes are pointing down to the floor. You can keep this or add in an extra challenge of picking up your left arm and reaching long with that. Keep the right arm strong. Keep pushing down with the right hand. Even press down with your left toenails. Keep bringing your navel into your spine. Then bring your hand down and your knee down. We'll do that on the other side. Pick up your left leg, reach long, really push through the heel like you're closing a heavy wooden door. Bring your navel into your spine very consciously. And again, please feel free to stay like this, or pick up the right hand, palm facing to the left, reach long, maybe bring the hand a little higher, bring your navel up in towards your spine. Really try and bring those lower ribs up into your body so that your abs engage. Now bring everything down. And then bring your belly down to the floor. We're going to do that again, but this time tummy down. So variation of locust pose, of Shalabhasana. Bring your arms ahead and bring your legs together. Look down at the floor. You don't need to see me. Pick up just your right leg, keeping your right hip point on the floor. And push long through the base of your right big toe, away from your hands. Then pick up your left arm. You can really press down with the right hand and the left foot to help you bring up what's up. Now try and get a longer reach in the left hand and the right foot as you press down firmly with what's anchored, the right hand and the left foot. Then change sides. Bring your feet down, squeeze your legs together, then pick up the left leg, squeeze the knees strong. And again, option, stay like this or bring the right hand up as well. These belly down back bends are really good for your back. And as you stay here, try and also bring your navel up to your spine like you did when you were on hands and knees. Bring the leg down, bring the hand down, and come back to downward facing dog. Bring your hands by your ribs, push your knees to the floor, and go back. Oh, I'm right at the back of the mat here. If you are to walk forwards, find space for your dog. Now we're going to do another little sequence of standing poses, this time with the hips facing forwards. So bring your feet together, and as you inhale, raise your right leg behind you. This time no knee to nose, we're just going to step the foot in between the hands. So step your foot in between your hands, keep the back knee straight, come into crescent warrior, so bring your arms up. Crescent warrior is warrior one, but with the back heel up. Now from here, you're going to come into warrior three, and we're going to vary it. We'll make the arms different. So bring your arms all the way down by your side, step your back foot forward. As you inhale, straighten your front leg as much as you can. Pick your back leg up off the floor. Bring your navel up in towards your spine like you did in the previous two poses. Shoulders away from the floor. Now you're going to go back into crescent warrior. Think of your chest as descending to the floor first. So bend the right knee, lower, lower, lower your chest. Step back as lightly as you can and bring your arms up again. Downward facing dog. Touch down, step back, bring your feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Inhale, bring your arms up for crescent warrior. Stay here. Arrange your pose, squeeze your bottom. Really try and make that back knee straight and strong. So you might actually need to lift your hips up away from the floor a bit. Now this variation of warrior three, bring your arms down by your sides. Keep them like that. Step your back foot forward. And then start to straighten your front leg as you bring your navel up to your spine. Think of the back body now being straight like a tabletop. Navel up, back knee, back toes pointing down. I hope I'm demonstrating this well. If I'm not, do what I say, not what I do. And then crescent warrior. Bend the front knee, lower your chest. Bring your arms up now. Step back lightly. And then come to down dog. Touch down, step back. Now bring your knees down to the floor and sit onto your heels in Vajrasana. And bring the backs of your hands onto your thighs. Stay here. Close your eyes. Come back to your Ujjayi breath. That slight constriction in your throat, you might be breathing quite quickly here. But as we sit, notice your breath slowing down. Your heart rate is stabilizing, recovering from the stress of those standing poses, the stress on the body. Let yourself return quiet, calm. Now open your eyes. And I should have said this before, but I want you to have a blanket or a towel. So if you don't have one, please press pause, go and get yourself a blanket or a towel, and fold it really nicely. Sometimes we fold things too hurriedly. I want you to fold it so there are no creases underneath it. This is going to be something for you to sit on. So sit on it, and to do that, place it so that the front fold is facing towards me, and put your two sitting bones sitting at the front of this, just ahead. Now we're going to do a series of poses that are seated to open up the hips. So from here, Janushirasana with a couple of variations. Bend your right leg and really make sure that you're sitting nicely on this slight elevation that you've made for your pelvis. And turn so that your chest is facing in between your knees, and bring your hands onto your knees and lengthen, get tall. Not just the front body, but also think of lengthening from the tailbone to the back of your head. Now, if this is already challenging for you, please feel free, just stay here. If you can take it a bit further, bring your hands forward into a deeper forward fold, and perhaps kind of folding from your hips, bring your hands ahead of you, and every time you inhale, perhaps a little more length. And as you exhale, maybe a little bit more of a folding forward. But then you're going to come to the point when you're going to want to put the handbrake on. And I do that by pushing my hand slightly forward so that you feel
you feel held by your arms and your lower back isn't taking all of your weight. At the same time, bring your navel into your spine so that your abdominal muscles are also holding your weight, your upper body weight for your back. And again, not too long a hold here. So from here, come all the way out. I'm going to stay in this leg shape, but for Janu Shirshasana, turn your chest so that your chest is parallel to the top of your foot. If a light was shining out of your chest, it would illuminate the top of your left foot. Then bring your right arm to the outside of that left leg, your fingertips to the floor. Inhale, get nice and tall. And again, option is to just stay here or possibly fold forward, moving your chest towards your shin. Now, many people may feel that they can now take their hands away and grab the foot. Many of us are just going to keep the hands here, using the right hand to press into the outside of the leg, so you can feel your right ribs moving a little closer to your big toe. And the left ribs kind of moving slightly away. So you're putting a little twist into this. And then as you inhale, come up. We're going to do a pose now called Stargazer, and I have to credit this to Christina Sell. She often does Stargazer after this, and I love it. So bring your right hand to the floor by the side of your left hip. And so, yeah, by the side of your right hip, sorry. I'm mirroring you, so it's a bit complicated with the camera. And then I want you now to push that right hand down, pick your pelvis up, bring the foot to the floor, and then bring your arm up and then over your left ear. And push your left foot flat into the floor. And as you do this, push the right toenails down. So everything that's on the floor is really pushing down so that you can then gaze up at the stars and reach with your left arm, like you would do in side angle pose, with it over your ear. Now come all the way down again. It's a lovely stretch, that one, isn't it? And from here, I want you to change this right leg to come into half shoelace. This is a yin pose, but we're not going to hold it for a long time. So you're crossing this leg over. If it's too much, please feel free to just do it like this. But if you can cross it over, a little bit like we do in Gomukhasana, do this. Perhaps bring your fingertips to the floor, not too far away from you, but if that's okay, then again you can start to fold forward. And again, put the handbrake on with your arms whenever that time comes. Then from here, come all the way up. And now again, we're working on the right leg. We're all on one leg at the moment. Come into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So pick up this right leg and then just slide the foot a little closer to the left knee, like this. Right hand on the floor behind you. Move the left arm forward and lean forward. Bring the inner elbow to the outside of your leg and then turn to the right. Keep this straight leg, this left leg, really nice and strong. Heel stays on the floor. But squeeze the knee as you nudge your right shoulder back. Try and keep the top of your head in line, in a straight line with your tailbone. And then turn back to center. And again, we're staying with this right leg here. And we're going to come into deer pose. So this is a little bit complicated, so watch the camera. Bring your hands over to the left, pick up that right leg, and turn it like this into half Virasana, and actually point the toes like a belly dancer. Then bend the left leg. So you're coming into, maybe this is a pose that you used to sit in as a kid. So your left leg is more or less the shin parallel to the front of your mat and this leg here. And I don't want you to do anything here apart from stand really, sit really straight and then twist towards the left. So turn your body, right hand on the outside of that left leg and then hand on the floor behind you. So the aim here is that your right leg is being, your right leg and your right hip and being put into lots of different orientations so that the hip really gets moved. We can get all the synovial fluid and all the tissues and connective tissues, the deeper tissues, moving around really nicely in all these different poses, these different seated poses. So now, cross-legged. So release the twist and then lean a little bit to the left so you can pick the right leg and then come into a cross-legged position with that right leg in front. Now, I want you to make sure that that front shin is parallel to the front of your mat. Okay? So, and move your feet slightly away from each other. Bring your hands to your knees get tall, bring your shoulders back, and come into a forward fold or not. So stay like this if this is already challenging. For some people this is really strong on the ankles, but if you can bring your hands forward like we've been doing in the other forward folds, then please do. Again, lengthen your spine and perhaps come forward and then apply the handbrake of your arms whenever needed. And then come all the way up. Now, Simhasana, I want you from here to come forwards, and you're going to have that left shin digging in to the bottom right calf muscle as you then sit onto your heels. You probably want to move the blanket away. So I'm going to turn so you can see this. This is, you're really knotting yourself up here a little bit. And this is not for everyone. If this is too much for your ankles and your feet, just sit cross-legged as you did before. Option here, a fun option here is to come into Lolasana. So bring your hands down to the floor, just behind your knees. Inhale as you move forwards, and as you exhale, push your hands down and pick your legs up. Keep breathing, and then come all the way down. That was an option. Then come back down, bring your legs ahead of you, and we're going to do all of that on the other side. So sit back onto your blanket and come into Janushirshasana. That's why I've got paper here, because there's a lot of poses all on one side and I want to get the order right. So from here, left leg in Janushirshasana. Turn your chest in between your knees. Stay like this or come forwards. Again, apply that handbrake when and if needed as you keep squeezing the right leg strong. Then come all the way up. Take your hands off the floor, turn your chest, light shining at the top of the foot, left hand, right hand on the floor beside you, raise your chest and come forwards. And again, the option is always there if you're more flexible to say hello to your foot or just stay upright. Whatever you're doing, keep moving the left ribs forward, the right ribs back. Then come all the way up. And shoelace pose. So from here, use your hands to pick up the weight of your left leg and cross that leg over. I'm doing this pose more and more often now. I really like the stretch it gives me on the back of my leg. It might be different for you. Bring your hands ahead and get tall. Stay vertical or perhaps come forward. People often say to me in poses similar to this, what should I be feeling? Where should I be feeling it? We all feel it in different places. Some people get a real pain or a very obvious feeling in the heel in this pose. Sometimes it's the back of the knee. Sometimes it's the outside hamstring, more towards the lateral edge of the leg. Sometimes it's the other foot, the one that's coming over. There might be a pain in the outside of the shin. We're all different. That's what I want to say. Just, there's no shoulds. Just observe what's going on for you. Now come all the way up. And then come into the twist. So bring the sole of this left foot to the floor, left hand on the floor behind you, lean with the right arm and twist to your left. Keep nudging the left shoulder back and be quite strong here in your abs, really get a good turn. Then coming into deer pose. So turn back to center. Bring this leg up. Now point the toe like a ballet dancer and bring the leg behind. If having the towel or the blanket is bothering you now and you don't need it, please feel free to take it away. So you're coming into this and then the right knee comes into this shape, kind of like a Z. Then twist in the other direction. So twist towards the left, left hand down. Make this a kind of easy twist. Don't be ambitious. Not as strong as we did in the previous pose. Just releasing the muscles on your back. And then come back to center and come into the cross-legged position. So now the left leg is in front. Front shin, that left shin parallel to the front of your mat. So there's a gap in between your groin and the back of your right calf muscle. Maybe move your bottom a little bit out of the way. Hands on the knees, get tall and come forwards. And again, coming forwards is an option. Bring your navel into your spine.
Really press your hands forward so you feel supported. Actually, you can press your hands forward or you can pull your hands back. Play around with both. See which one feels more comfortable for you. But keep squeezing your knees tight and closed. And then come all the way up. And option to repeat that or to come into Simbasana. So I'm going to keep my right shin pressing into the back of the left calf and sit onto my heels. I want to spend a little bit more time on this side. Hands on the legs, gaze forward. Now, like a lion, breathe in really deeply through your nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue and exhale. Then do it again. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, exhale. One more time. Inhale. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, exhale. Now breathe normally. Bring your hands down to the floor. Lolasana. Lean forward. Inhale, and on the effort, exhale. Push your hands down. Pick your knees up. Maybe the feet will follow. Keep breathing. And come all the way down. Now, getting out of this pose, you can roll to the side, you can come forwards, whatever you're going to do. I want you to come back to downward facing dog. Last down dog. Pressing back. Push your hands forwards. Squeeze your legs. Heels pressed down. Really stretch out. Really, really dog-like. Really imagine that you've been sleeping for a long time, all curled up. Press your chest to your thighs. Now, bring your knees down to the floor. And get your blanket. If you have a block, it's better. I haven't got a block with me, so forget that. Roll your blanket up. If you do have a block, so I shouldn't dismiss that, you can put your block at the top third of your mat where I'm placing my blanket, because it gives a little bit more height. If you have a block and a towel and a blanket, put the block there, east-west, and put the blanket over it to kind of soften it. And I'll show you what we're going to do so you can see the logic. Knees are going to stay bent. I'm going to put the bottom tips of my shoulder blades onto my prop, which is either, again, blanket or block. Blanket's quite low, but I don't want you guys to be too ambitious here. I'm going to bring my head onto the floor behind me. If you're using the block and your head doesn't touch the floor, use your hammock. Use your hands as a hammock to hold your head. Otherwise, just bring your arms out to kind of cactus arms or down by your sides. And stay here as you're opening up your lungs and your chest. I want you to stay here for at least another minute. I'm going to roll over and read you a poem, but you're going to stay here with your eyes open. So arrange your pose so it feels really comfortable. Make sure that you've got the prop right underneath your shoulder blades. And I'm going to read you, this is what I do in most of my classes, a poem or some kind of yogic wisdom that's in line with the theme. So I want to start doing it on these YouTube classes as well. This is called At Set of Sun, and it's by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. I want you to listen to this without trying to decipher it or understand it. Just listen to it and notice how it makes you feel. As we sit down at set of sun and count the things that we have done, and counting find one self-denying act, one word, that eased the heart of him who heard, one glance most kind, that fell like sunshine where it went, then we may count that day well spent. But if, through all the lifelong day, we've eased no heart by yea nor or nay, if through it all we've done no thing that we can trace that brought the sunshine to a face, no act most small that helped some soul and nothing cost, then count that day as worse than lost. I want to read the first verse again. If we sit down at set of sun and count the things that we have done,
and, counting, find one self-denying act, one word that eased the heart of him who heard, one glance, most kind, that fell like sunshine where it went. Then we may count that day well spent. Coming now into Shavasana, roll over onto your side and move the block or the blanket away. If you weren't even using a prop, that's fine. All I want you all to do now is lengthen your legs one by one, separate your feet to a nice comfortable distance apart so that your 2 feet can turn away from each other. Bring your arms down by your sides. Make sure that your fingers are curled loosely. Tuck your shoulder blades under your back towards each other. Make sure you feel symmetry here, the left and the right sides of your body an equal distance away from the center. Soften your jaw, soften around your mouth, and soften around your eyes. Stay here in Shavasana for as long as you want. I'm going to come out of this in a moment, but please feel free to really relax and rest. You've earned it. If you're staying in Shavasana, please press pause and stay for as long as you have time for. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you very much for practicing with me. Please do click subscribe and ring on the little bell so that you're alerted when I put up classes. I upload classes twice a week. And have a look at the playlist. I have a whole selection of styles and class duration. Thanks again for practicing with me. Namaste.